Morning, Dawn.
Morning, Mark.
How you doing?
All right now, thank you.
Right now, why?
I had had my breakfast. I felt I was being rushed.
No, I wasn't rushing you. No, not rushing you. Oh dear, I haven't done your tea.
Toast in my tooth.
Yeah, it's tough morning TV. Do you feel like you're Piers and Susanna?
Pardon?
Are we Piers and Susanna?
Well, you're definitely Piers. I'm not sure about Susanna.
She's turning into him, I think, from what I've seen.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't watch them, as you know. They annoy me greatly.
No.
I would like constructive criticism no matter what, and I do think that if you sit in an ivory tower, what's going on in your world? Because you put yourself on a pedestal and you're all, this is what you've got to do, etc. Yeah. And you're bound to fall off at some point, aren't you?
You are, very much so. Anyway, this is episode 72, Wednesday the 3rd of June 2020. You're looking bright and cheery. I won't mention Piers Morgan again.
No, don't, because I can't stand the man.
No, I'm sure he's very nice, to be honest.
I'm sure he's charming when he's not on the TV, but I only see him on the TV. So, yeah. My God, you need to learn some things.
Don't forget, people build their wealth based on like clickbait, as it's called, and just get people. We'll get on, if you, as Scott says, if you're Marmite, like he thinks he is, people love you or hate you. If you've got 50% of the world like you, you're on to a winner, even if 50% of the world hate you. But anyway, let's not go too far down that route. We've got a rollover on the music. I wonder.
Play a little bit more then. Go on and try and keep out of the way of the speaker.
Right, it's there, just there.
I realise where it is.
It's a blooming great speaker. Well, I'll go for a little bit further and see how we can go. I should remind people, of course, we're trying to find a link to, what was it? It was Billie Eilish, No Time to Die, from the latest James Bond film. So we're trying to find a link. Here we go. I think that's a fraction more than yesterday.
Might be.
5 seconds, it's quite a lot. Steve Fury's gone quiet, we're suffering. The others are all jostling for position, but Steve's dropped back a little bit.
He's probably busy doing work and organising family parties. He hasn't got time for all of this.
Okay, we've also got a rollover, and I only do 1 day extra rollover of this. This is Oscar appearing in Catchphrase. Nobody's got the catchphrase. Here we go. Where's Oscar? Oscar with you yesterday.
I should just point out that is food in my hand.
Yeah, that's food in her hand, yeah.
Not a very flattering picture, but never mind.
Honestly. Yeah. Enjoying your lunch. There you go.
I was, until you started recording me.
Right, I only go 1 more day. We'll see if anyone get. What's he doing? Say what you see. Say what you see. Right, loads of feedback, great feedback. And what's good about the feedback is it gives me ideas to think about what to talk about next. Angie Crush has explained to me why all those people were queuing at IKEA. And don't laugh, Dawn. But the reason is, whilst they've got their husbands at home, the wives are trying to get them all to do DIY. I think that's very sexist, don't you?
No, it's true. But, I just wouldn't bother with you. God.
No. She also went camping at Wimbledon in the queue, which was very civilised. I think that's probably a better way of doing it. Quite like what I hear about that. Well set up and thinking of the queuers rather than make them all suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. And her brother has already lined up all the music for his funeral.
Yeah, I think if you want your funeral done right, you've got to plan before you go, because the people left behind will not be doing it right, in my eyes. So I've got a detail. I'm going to have a detailed plan as well. I think
God. Same
not
as
not discussing it with you. I'll discuss it with someone else who will do it. Well, you just need to ring a number because that would be useless. Go on, next one.
I'll ring a number. That's all
For
right.
my funeral, dear.
Okay. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Angie Crush will have a steel band. Please don't go down that route. I mean, we've got jazz bands offered, steel bands. It's a funeral at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can get recordings. I don't actually. When I said I'd like a jazz band, that's the sort of theme that upbeat, enjoying celebrating the life rather than being morbid. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get on with the next one.
Yeah. Alan Buckle has got a jazz band he's trying to hire out for funerals.
Fine, okay. Alan, I'm only a year older than you or or something like that. So please, give me a break.
And Andy Poppleton, very good. He came up with the quote. When in answer to what people would say at his funeral, it would be, they would say, "I told you he was ill," which wasn't quite what I was aiming at, really. It was.
No, but I mean, I thought that was very funny, very witty. So there you go. That's our sense of humours aren't even online now. Oh.
But he did say when he was younger, people would call him stubborn and know-it-all and argumentative. But now he just lets people be wrong,
Yeah.
which is quite good. Scott brought in the subject of Marmite. He was described as Marmite. I don't know why he thinks that, because
Well, sometimes you either love it or hate it. Marmite. I mean, you like it, I hate it.
I understand that, but I'm not sure why Scott is loved or hated.
He's trying to describe himself.
I know that, but why would people dislike him? He seems quite, when he's down the club, he seems.
Oh God, you only have to say one word wrong and people dislike you. I mean, it's very easy to make people dislike you.
Yeah. Grazia said that people would say about her she can't stop talking, and maybe she's too direct.
Maybe, but I sometimes think it's good. I mean, my New Year's resolution was just tell people how it is. I had to tone it down when we've been locked up, because I fear that I might mentally scar people if I was that direct in that space. But no, it's part and parcel of the beat, isn't it? I mean, if people want to take offence, they will.
Well, yeah. We mentioned how the situation is dividing people, and you took very, very kindly. A few people mentioned Oscar going to his first hydrotherapy session, but you came back with some very strange things.
Weird.
Do you want to tell the viewers about that?
Well, I got there and I was just chatting to the owner, who by the way has got asthma, so he can't. He's been self-isolated and not going out. And if he does go out, he stays in the car. And his poor wife's been running around after him, a bit like you and having your wife run around after you. And so, but he got people ringing him up, threatening to have the dog put down if he didn't start hydro. And he just couldn't, because it was against the government guidelines. And he found it horrendous. And because he's a dog lover, he didn't know what to do. He just felt that they were trying to get a session because they said, "Oh, I'm going to put the dog down." I thought, I'd never say that. I'd have to find. We've found an alternative. We've kept him going. I mean, he has deteriorated a little, so I'm optimistic that perhaps with a little bit of guidance, we can get him sort of like on a level line, etc., so that he's having a happy life. But I would never say that to anybody under any circumstances. So people must have been pretty desperate, is all I can think. But
there you go, another little example of differing views that we get. More from Canada, from Hubert in Canada. As I mentioned, all his friends seem to be preparing for their funerals. I mean, it's a bit really upbeat, isn't it, this? But
I think if you want what you want, if you want the funeral that you would like, and you've got a plan.
Sort of related, he also says the heroine out there, Dr. Bonnie Henry, the chief medical officer.
Oh yes, he likes her, doesn't he? Yes.
He likes her. So does most of Canada or British Columbia, I think. Has said that people can go back to climbing, rock climbing, and mountain biking and the like, because the hospitals. Well, she hasn't quite said it like this, but the hospitals are short of customers at the moment. Yeah.
Well, I did say to you yesterday, didn't I, that as the pubs aren't open, people aren't fooling around and behaving badly when they in the evening, etc. So the A&Es are really enjoying it. Maybe we should shut the pubs permanently. And the pubs aren't going to like that statement, but at the end of the day, it is a bit sort of inconsiderate, just getting so drunk you don't know what you're doing.
You could have breathalyzer tests on the pavements, and doesn't have to be just in cars. You could extend the limit, but I suppose people react in different ways. Let's not go down that route quite yet.
No. I mean, I just said it as it's off the cuff. It's only a 3-second thing. You don't need to answer that. Get on with the next one.
Yeah, no, it was something that's, going back to I'm a bit shocked by a lot of you not, getting to a certain age and not giving a damn what people think about you.
Oh, Mark, do you still care what people think?
No, I think let me say, you see, because one of my in coaching, for example, or any position of responsibility, I guess, I think you've got to know when to bite your tongue, and that affects how people perceive you.
That's slightly different.
And I think if you fall out with too many people, it's going to be very difficult to move things forward, especially in a pub or something like that.
That's not the situation that we were talking about. We're like talking among people that know you, etc. If you put your coaching hat on, then that is different, because then you have different responsibilities, don't you? And you have to behave in a sort of like a restrained manner. Whereas if you're with a bunch of friends, you wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. And when I say I don't care what people say behind my back, or what they think of me, I can't alter what they think of me, so I'm not going to worry about it. That was my approach. It wasn't like, when I'm coaching, I'm very conscious of being polite to people, helping people, and making sure that they have the best experience, of course. But that I look on as my job. It's something that I volunteered to do, and I would do it to the best of my ability. And I think everybody should approach life like that.
Yeah, but the people whether it be in an organisation, etc., are the ones who might come along.
Why are you worrying about it? If you've approached your job or your volunteering in the best way, unless you're being a ruddy idiot, nobody's going to take offence of what you've done or how you help.
They do. No, they do. They take offence whether you're being a ruddy idiot or not.
Honestly, but why are you worrying about it? Because
there's a limit to how many people you can have, as Scott puts it, thinking they dislike you, because then you wouldn't be able to move anything forward.
I wouldn't go as strong as a dislike, because you have disagreements, and at the end of the day you agree to disagree. There's a compromise in most things in life. But I think to worry about what people are thinking about you, I mean, of course, if you've said something and you think you've upset someone, of course you worry slightly about that, but at the end of the day you've said it, it's too late, you can't take it back, can you?
No.
I think as I've got on, I mean, when I was younger, I mean, I was almost like afraid to say something, is where I'm coming from, in the sense that I wouldn't perhaps speak my mind because I fear that I would upset them. Now I just say it, try and say it in a nice way, how it is.
Yeah.
And you meet all sorts in this world. Get on with it. Why do you keep looking up there anyway?
I'm checking the time. I have to be careful, because I want to get in a couple of things, because Grazia inspired me. I was surprised to hear Italian funerals are so boring. You learn something quite regularly, don't you, each day? And she was a bit shocked when she came to see the British way of doing a funeral, and how we talk about the person who's died. People get up and do a eulogy, and we have a few songs and all this something completely different from Italy. So it upset her quite a bit because it found it quite personal rather than the impersonal way the Italians go on about it. And it made me think of some shocking differences between countries, from Britain to here. And I came up with a few, mainly Japan. The toilets in the offices when I went were unbelievable. It was a pit in the ground that you had to crouch over to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Not what you'd expect. Maybe they aren't there now. This was a few years back.
But also the other extreme is that you'd go to an office and they'd have almost like a computerized toilet where there were so many buttons you didn't know which one to push to flush the toilet.
You could have a seat warmer. Yeah.
Exactly, and all sorts of things. And I remember being in Japan, and you go in, and a new piece of film would come round onto the toilet seat, and then you'd sit down, and then you'd have to sit, and then you do your business, and then wipe your bottom.
They're filming it.
No, the film round the bottom, protective thing, right? And every time, and then when you flush it down. You're a nutter. How can you take anything you say seriously? Get on with it.
No, but one of the craziest things they had, I went out with some guys in Japan, and they were like presidents of these companies, manufacturing companies, and they would belong to a gentleman's club, if you like, not naughty or anything, just a drinking club, where they meet up, and they'd have a branch in Tokyo, a branch in Osaka, and a branch in wherever, Kyoto or something. And they'd all have their own personalised bottle of whiskey with their name on that they would serve to their guests. And what would happen is they'd drink a bit in one club, and then that would be fed by computer to the other branches, so that when they went to one in the other city, it would be at the same level as they'd left it. If you see what I mean. No,
I don't see what you mean.
I'm just going to shut the door a second. Keep going.
I also have to say that in Japan, that some of the customs are very, very sexist. I mean, remember when the president of the company we were going to see came, and his wife came in, and she was on her knees and sort of like 2 feet behind him. And my first reaction is, me being me, I wanted to go and help her up and knock him over.
Yeah. I think we'll have to leave it.
Okay.
We've got Charlie who's making
blowing on the leaves.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there. Yeah. I'll
Bye.
Back tomorrow. Cheerio then. Sorry about that, viewers. Guy doing our garden. He's making a bit of a racket outside. I could hardly hear Dawn. Hope it didn't spoil your enjoyment at the end there. But talk to you tomorrow. Hope you all have a good day. Cheerio.